Hello everybody, welcome back to Cape Rugby TV. It's Wednesday night and we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. I think everybody's starting to now get very excited about the fact that there is like a real rugby, not just highlights of last year, but real rugby almost on the cards. People are starting to play some friendlies. The Community Cup is coming up, the Varsity Cup is coming up, the league fixtures and friendlies are coming up, so everybody's very excited about the fact that rugby season's almost on us. Big thanks, of course, to Hisense, our official technical partner, Score Energy Drinks. As you know, Score on board with Western Province Rugby and, of course, the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of Durban Road and the N1, and Dulux Maitland at number 30 Kuberg Road. There for your paint supplies. Let me introduce you to my panel tonight. Jerome Parvater, welcome back.
Yeah, JP, hi. Good to be back again. And as you were saying, rugby is on.
It's on.
I've been Saturday. I watched 2 games. I watched Marty's UWC.
Yeah.
Then I watched UCT Cecil
Moss. Yeah.
That game at UCT. And last night I watched UCT Durbell playing at UCT. And tonight UWC are playing Boland. So it's January and people are playing. So
well, there's a couple of games there I didn't even know about. Let me introduce you to my other guest this evening, Mr. Danny Jones, head of amateur rugby at Western Province. Danny, welcome back.
Thank you, JP. It's good to be back. Welcome. It's good to be welcome back. Yes.
Yeah.
Those at third show this year. Was it the fourth?
I don't know. I've lost track of how many shows we've done.
The fourth show.
We just know it's every Wednesday. But Danny, you guys must be inundated now at Western Province. I mean, it's like must be full steam ahead. Not only are you busy planning with the strategies of Western Province and future visions of Western Province behind the scenes in terms of the management, but I mean everything is happening now. There's Cape Town 10s and there's planning for the 7s and there's the Community Cup, there's the Varsity Cup. You guys must be full up.
Yes, we are, JP. It's business as usual, and we're happy because no work makes us idle hands. So we're happy with that. The clubs are up and running. I'm glad Jerome has spoken about those friendly matches that has taken place, and a number will still take place. And obviously, starting this Saturday, obviously we got the Stormers in at Falls Bay, where they will be playing Chuckers with the Western Province.
Is that on the Sunday?
No, it's Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Where they will be playing with a selected group of players from us and a few players from Falls Bay will be there. Next week is as you said, the Cape Town 10s and the Ahmadiyya 10s at City Park. Cape Town 10s obviously at the at Hamilton's and Ahmadiyya 10s at City Park, as well as on third we have the Super Sport Challenge, not in Super Sport Challenge, but let's say Super Rugby Challenge with the 4 South African teams playing.
Of course,
in the Marvel 7, in the Marvel, what you call it? That's on Sunday the 3rd, and after that the Stormers play Boland in Wellington, and the universities are playing. It's Geruk, and we're happy.
Well, it's all on. Yeah, we can see, and of course we're still waiting for the results and the fixture. At least the fixture's coming out soon as well. That's going to be exciting. We'll speak to Danny about that a little bit later. Coming up on the show tonight, as Jerome mentioned, UWC were up against Marty's in a friendly at UWs over the weekend. It was the Cecil Moss Memorial at UCT. We'll take a look at that friendly. We'll catch up with the guys from Wraithby. We'll catch up with the guys from Hands and Hearts, and of course we went out and had a look to see what the Stormers are busy doing. We'll take a look at some of the practice session that the Stormers are busy with, including interviews with 2 of the players. So Damian Willems being one of them, and our second interview being Chad Solomons, son of Chippy Solomons. So it's going to be fantastic catching up with the guys there. Right, we'll take a look first then, of course, at the game highlights between UWs and the Marty's.
Ja, ek dink veral die spelers het uitgesien daarna die pre-season raak maar lank, die manne hardloop baie, oefen hard en is altyd lekker om op die veld te kom en te speel. So ons het uitgesien na die wedstryd. Ek was 'n bietjie benoud want ons het baie spelers wat met niggles sit wat nie vandag kon speel nie. En IWK het 'n goeie groep, so ek was nogal tevrede met hoe ons span wat die eerste 40 minute gespeel het gevaar het, want daar's nog 9-10 ouens wat moet inkom wat volgende week sal kan speel. Ja, ek dink dit was vir hulle ook 'n goeie wedstryd om te sien waar hulle staan. Ek dink hulle het verlede week teen NMU gespeel wat nou nie meer in die boonste afdeling is nie, so vandag sal vir hulle baie waarde gee om te sien waar met hulle nog aan werk en verbeter, en dieselfde met ons, veral die tweede en derde chakka het ons baie foute gemaak en die spel te los geraak en nie lekker in ons struktuur ingekom nie, so ons het ook baie om aan te werk. Ja, dit gaan 'n lekker challenge wees. Al daai ouens wat ek net van gepraat het, behoort reg te wees Vrydag aand, so meeste van hulle sal teen Aatjie speel en dan sal ons met nog 'n span speel teen Durban Saterdag, so dit sal twee lekker challenges wees vir ons en goeie voorbereiding vir wat ons eerste wedstryd is op die 4de.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, UWC, Marty's there, and of course Harvey's Fourie, the coach at Marty's. Jerome, you were at the game. The information that I got from that game, and I know it's a friendly, is that Marty's, let me just put it this way, Marty's is looking very strong.
Yeah, no, JP, not strong. They actually they demolished UWC, and it was a great eye opener for Chester in the coaching staff to see where they are. Because Marty's currently they are the Varsity Cup champions, and I think UWC were fortunate to play against them, and it's still early stages, and to see where they are. I know the biggest problem for me, or the biggest challenge for UWC will be is everybody's talking about their backline, but without the ball, the backs also need to tackle, especially from first phase, and that was very poor from UWC.
I mean, like you just said, the chance it was probably a good opportunity to play against a club like Marty's. What will Chester take from this and look to fix?
The biggest thing is the pace and the tempo of which Varsity Cup they play in the Varsity Cup, and it's a huge difference between the Sealed and the Cup. So the pace in which the guys are playing, and defense, especially in the backs. If you don't do the one-on-one, if you don't tackle, if a center run onto you on a center and you don't tackle, it's a try. And if it's a line break,
so Chester will be looking to work harder on the fronts. I mean, the forwards of fronts.
not. I think people were thinking that the forwards will be. But the forwards actually held up their man, except on a few scrums.
But he's got to take something from it.
But the biggest thing is his defensive system in the back, and the backs need to tackle.
Okay. Well, we'll be catching up with one of the UWC games shortly again, and we'll see if there's been any improvement. Before we go to Danny, let's catch up with the UWC captain, Adrian Parvater.
Yeah, it was a tough one, but I think it's a good learning curve for us. Going forward into Varsity Cup, it was a good preparation for us to see how it is playing a Varsity Cup team. If you look at the way we started off, we never started off the way we wanted to, but we built on our innings and it improved. Yes, definitely the game is much faster, structured, much better. It's not that loose. So for us, it's just going to the drawing board, working on our mistakes, and pulling together as a team, as a brotherhood. Yes, definitely. Our plan is to, in this practice games, we need to focus on us as a group, and we need to gel together, and that's the reason why we have friendlies to focus on our game plan and fix what we can fix, our errors, and at the end of the day, we need to put it together to going forward into the Varsity Cup.
Right, folks, of course, Adrian Parvat, the captain of UWC, and just speaking there about the fact that they need these friendlies to start gelling together. Danny, Are you getting a lot of requests for friendlies at the moment? Do the clubs come to you guys to schedule their friendlies?
No, the club normally schedule their friendlies. We obviously sign off on it,
Right.
and so there are requests that's filtering in now quite a lot, and because we have to supply the referees and all those things.
Yeah, yeah,
So because a friendly game is a rugby game,
yeah.
and so the rules that apply to our season with regard to the discipline and the management of that game and it's the same.
So whether
it's a friendly or it's a league competition.
Have you had a lot of requests in the last few weeks, or is it still too early? Will you start seeing them come in now?
It will come in now fast and furious,
Yeah.
but we had some already.
Yeah.
That's in.
These are the kind of friendlies that we need to see, though. UWC, I mean, the timing, I suppose, is also now, like you said, the request for friendlies pre-Club Rugby League fixtures, you'll probably see that still coming in. But surely you've had a couple of requests lately. UWC, Marties, Durbell, those guys would have already been started with.
They are busy, and I'm glad that UWC took Marties on, because Marties are the champions. And it was great, because I always believe you learn more from your mistakes and from losing than from winning.
Yeah.
And this is a good platform for Chester to go forward into the competition. He still has a month. Is it a month, Jerome?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll take
There's
a look
a lot
at
we can do in 3 weeks to rectify,
Yeah.
so that when they play Marties again, and I do think there will be improvement. Chester just has to be firm with his players, and that's it.
It's like Jerome said, I don't think you can choose a better opponent. Marties is the toughest team to play in the league and in the Varsity Cup.
100%.
Yeah.
And we have high expectations of UWC. And I think the one lesson that I can take out of this, and maybe just with Jerome's assistance, is to say to Chester, the players must step up. They are now playing at the high end of the scale, and mentality, they need to come to the party now.
Well, we'll take a look at some of the UWC and Marties and UCT and CPUT friendlies over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll see some good performances. Well, we're taking an ad break. We'll come back from the break. It was, of course, UCT in their memorial game, the Cecil Moss Memorial game at the Green Mile. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Don't forget, of course, Score Energy Drinks is on board with, Western Province Club Rugby. You can see the jerseys behind me there. Score's, of course, been supporting Western Province Club Rugby now for a few years, and a number of teams out there have been very lucky to have been sponsored by Score and have Score jerseys. And of course, I think that this year, Danny, we're going to see, because of the sevens from last year, we're going to see a ton of teams playing in the league with Score jerseys that come from the tournament.
Yes, JP, Score was very helpful this year. Last year, what they did, they normally, for the sevens competition, they would give us 12 jerseys or so. This time, they gave every team a full set. So you could well find on a Saturday, whether it's the first team or the second team running out, there could be a set of Scores running in all our competitions.
Very clever broadcast plan.
Very clever, JP. But we look, Score has been great partners, and we for Club Rugby, and
but
especially at the sevens.
You need these kind of clubs. I mean, we said this before about Score, is that they got involved with Western Province Club Rugby, and starting off with Cape Rugby on a in faith. They knew about what we were doing. They wanted to be involved. They wanted to package it. No highfalutin, fancy media planners and broadcast statistics. They simply said, let's get involved. We know it's the right place to play.
JP, John Stein is a marvelous person, and seriously, when we chatted to him, all he said, fine, what's your requirements? We'll get involved.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, no, we're absolutely lucky to have Score on board. Right, folks, it was, as I say, Score, of course, on board. If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, all right, then keep your mobile phone handy. In a couple of seconds, I'll give you the number to SMS, and we'll tell you who last week's winner was. But as I mentioned, we were out at UCT, where they had the UCT 15 up against a UCT Invitational side, playing at the Green Mile in the memorial of, or at least in memory of, the late Dr. Cecil Moss.
So this was meant to be an occasion to particularly serve as a memorial to Dr. Cecil Moss, who is probably our greatest ever Ike, as well as serve our club and serve our community by being an occasion for Western Province Club Rugby. The club is 138 years old, and he was a member of the club at his death last year for more than half of those 138 years. He was a great player for the Ikes. He was a great Springbok in 1949. He was perhaps our greatest ever coach, Springbok coach. He was our president, and he was more than that. He was a friend and mentor to so many of the players that he developed as people, and ultimately, he produced so many Springboks from the Ikes. And how do you honour somebody like Cecil Moss? And the idea was, well, you could easily call the ground after him or a stand after him, but that's not a living thing. He was a rugby man through and through, and the idea was the best way to honour and remember him was to play rugby. So our thought was, let's have a game, which we'll have this year for the first time, and hopefully going into the future. Every year it'll be the start of a tradition, and the best way to honour him is by playing rugby, and playing rugby in the way in which he wanted to see it played.
Fantastic speaking there to Greg Fury, the chairman of UCT, and great memorial. Danny, maybe looking at things a little bit differently there, as he said, a rugby man, a Western Province rugby man that they want to remember, and the best way to do it is playing rugby.
No, JP, definitely, and I want to commend UCT for the initiative in keeping the memory of Dr. Moss alive, because he certainly is a legend as an Ike, but also in Western Province and South Africa. And I think that he's most probably runs parallel to Marty's Danny Craven.
All right.
And,
is it that was it?
No,
did he have that much of a legacy? Yeah?
Look, he held. I mean, he didn't obviously go into the administration of the game as Danny Craven did.
Yeah.
But he was a Springbok. He coached the Springboks, manager of Western Province, coach Province, doctor of Western Province, and so I'm saying that's a very full history. It's very difficult to match that. And
it sounds like he gave
a
lot back to Western Province.
No, he did, certainly. To Ikes and to Western Province, he's true blue. So we really appreciate what the club has done.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think it's quite important for clubs to also communities to remember the people that came before them?
100% JP, because they're the reason why we exist today, and the club is still alive. So absolutely, you cannot. It's important that legacies and acknowledgement is done on annually.
Yeah, you have to do that. Right, folks. Of course, we managed to speak to John Dobson, former UCT player. In fact, those of you that don't know, he played at Northerns as well. He's of course coach of the Currie Cup side. Had a lot of success there, and he also spoke to us a little bit about. You won't forget that Dobbo, of course, coached the Ikes Varsity Cup side to quite a number of successful innings, so to speak. Although that's a cricket term, but we managed to speak to Dobbo about the memorial.
No, we enjoyed it a lot. I think it was a tough game of rugby. I think the guys did extremely well for the club guys, this stage of the season. Obviously, Doc Moss is a special man in all our rugby lives. Played for the 49 Springboks and was still coaching here, the third team in 2012 or something. So I was very close to Doc. So to be able to pay some tribute to him meant a lot to me. We had one practice at captains yesterday, but there was such a nice spirit amongst these guys. Guys from Brackenfell, SK, Villages, UCT, was such a nice mix. And I think it almost epitomised what was great about Western Cape Province Club Rugby, because they go at each other, Banks, Abubakar, Davids against some of these varsity oaks have been rivals for years. And now they were so united in a cause against UCT. It was brilliant. And you could see the guys actually enjoyed it. And by the end, I think we finished very strongly. I mean, nobody's pretending that was the best of Western Province. It was the guys who were prepared to come and play a game, in Jan, when they're probably not as fit as they should be. And they played against a reasonably good varsity cup team and boxed, I think, one try difference in the end. And I mean, so imagine what the best of club rugby would look like in the Western Cape. It's a great reflection on Western Province club rugby.
John Dobson there, of course, former coach at UCT and played for UCT, current coach, Currie Cup coach at well, obviously Currie Cup coach at Western Province. Right, folks, as you know, UCT is of course going into the Varsity Cup shortly. Their head coach is Christian Esterhuizen. We know him as Essie. We've spoken to him a number of occasions, and their UCT captain is Namakaba. Let's find out about their preparation for the upcoming Varsity Cup.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the position was full of stars, players that won leagues and varsity cups and played provincial rugby. It was a star-studded team. Obviously, for them, the challenge was 19th of Jan. They're not going to be fit, so I think that was our advantage today. We had a long pre-season, so I think that's what got us over the line today. Yeah, we're in our third year together as a core group of players, so we're expecting a little bit more from each other. We had a fairly successful varsity cup last year. Unlucky not to get into the semi, so we're a little bit calmer, and we're hoping we can get into that semi-final spot this year. Yeah, well, we'll give all our efforts to be ready. We've got still a few friendly matches. We've got Derby midweek, and then we've got Marties as a friendly next Friday. So hopefully, with all of that, we can go into the first match with no rust and with confidence.
Yeah, no, definitely a tough one against the UCT All Boys. I mean, there's so many people who came from all around the world just to commemorate and celebrate the life of Doc Moss. And yeah, it was very tough against guys like West Cherry, New Rotenbach, who've been in the game, all about it. But yeah, I'm just really proud of the boys for the way we pulled through. It was tough in the first 20 minutes, but ended up pulling through in the end. We're looking forward to next weekend against Marties. I think we've had a good preparation, not just now, but I mean 3 years into the end of the year, we're already preparing for Varsity Cup. I mean, it's going to be a big test, playing against Marties as a warm-up game, and also the first 2 games of Varsity Cup are 2 Cape derbies. So yeah, really looking forward to that as well.
Welcome back, folks. Right, there you see the guys are prepped for the Varsity Cup. Jerome, UCT's first fixture in the Varsity Cup is on the 4th of February, and it's up against UWC. So we got home crowd playoff, so to speak. You looked at the UWC Marties game, you watched the UCT game, bearing in mind that UCT, of course, beat Marties last year. How do you see that going? And maybe give us a little bit of your thought of the UCT friendly that you saw on Saturday.
Yeah, as John Dobson was saying there, he was actually surprised on the performance that his team of that guys that just pulled together on Friday, the performance that they put up, and I expected much more from UCT. And these guys, it's club guys getting together, put up a performance like that, and UCT had to fight to right at the end to score sort of the winning try again. And I mean, they've been prepping since last year for this. So, but they stood their men, they held their men.
So same question that I asked you about Chester Williams. What will he take from the Marties game? What will they look to build for Essie at UCT? Him having looked at their first kind of friendly, and we know it was an invitational team and games like that. It's a little bit barbarian style. It's a bit loose. What will Essie be looking to take from that game that he will need to change before the 4th of February?
I would say look, they played against older guys, but I would say the physicality of the forwards, definitely they have to be more physical and because that other pack, they really dominated them, and they need to be more physical especially at the breakdown point.
Danny, we'll be hopefully finding out from you when the UWC, UCT and Marties and CPUT's next friendlies are, so we can try and see if they've made any changes according to Jerome's recommendations.
They would have to, JP, if they call themselves good coaches and that, they need to.
Yeah. Right, folks, Score, of course, on board with Cape Rugby TV. If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, then all you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090, 33090. Congratulations to last week's winner, Ashwell Swart. Ashwell, somebody from Cape Rugby TV is going to be in touch with you, and you can get yourself a case of Score energy drinks. When we come back from the break, we'll be catching up with Hands and Hearts, as well as Wraithby, all busy with pre-season training. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. It's, of course, season time, or the season is almost upon us, put it that way. It's now January, and clubs are playing friendlies already, and the Varsity Cup's on us. Danny, talk us through the fixtures a little bit, and the planning over the next couple of weeks. We know that with the league structures about to start, I think early April, end of March time. What are the kind of things that Western Brom is doing at the moment, apart from the fact that you have to look at the fixtures of 110 clubs? Do you have meetings with clubs? What type of pre-season planning is happening at the union?
Look, JP, we are having meetings on the 12th and the 13th with regard to the fixtures. And we will send out the fixtures to the club because we have completed the fixtures. And then obviously at those meetings we'll engage with him around certain of the challenges and that. Then we go back and see how we can resolve it, and then send it out to clubs and sign off with regard to that. We also will be having a number of coaching courses that Labib will manage, the level 1 and level 2 and 7s. We will be speaking, Jerome will manage with coaches and referees, where we have workshops. And Joey said it again on Saturday at our Bosberaad. Any club wanting referees to come out there and assist them, they'll do that, assist on the breakdown, the interpretation and all those things. That's from our education point of view, to school coaches around that.
Do you have to have meetings with the clubs about the competition format or the rules, anything in that line?
No, the format will be still for another 3 years, because we're into the second year of the 4-year period that we all agree to. So that's a done deal.
So this season, it sounds to me like it's rugby as usual.
No, JP, it's not rugby as usual. Remember last season, there were no third teams playing in any of our leagues.
Yes, that's right.
So this season we go back to...
Are third teams back this year?
Third teams are back.
Third teams are back.
So yes, so this year is going to be a fuller program. We're starting earlier at normal time, so there's lots of activities that we're going to do.
Under 21s also?
Under 20.
Under 20s?
Yeah, we have under 20.
Is that a slight change then?
No, we've always had under 20.
Okay, so it's under 20s.
Curry Cup is under 21s.
Curry Cup's under 21s. Yeah. Club rugby. At what age, in which month of the year must you be under 20?
Under 20 is you must be 19 on the 1st of January. Or you must be 18, you must be 19 on the 1st of January at least to be under 20. Or turning 19 in that year.
So what if you turn 20 in May?
No, you're still under 20.
You're still okay?
Yeah, you mustn't turn 21 during the season.
All right, that'll take you out the season.
Yeah, take you out of it, correct.
All right, folks, let's see what Hands and Hearts we're up to.
Ja, beslis. Ek was baie bekend met die insenasie en eerste keer wat dit so gelyk. Veral dat jou tyd 5 forwards al van week 1 af saamwerk. In die verlede was dit nooit so nie, so dit doen nou goed. Jy sien dat jou forwards is al van die begin af saam. Is goed om te sien dat die spelers besef het dat hulle moet terugkom om te kom help. Ons het verlede jaar deur 'n dip gegaan. So ons besef ook dat Super C gaan nie maklik wees nie. Van die spelers wat teruggekom het, kom uit Superliga A uit, Superliga B. So dit is goed om te sien dat al jou oud spelers is terug, jou karakter is weer by die klub. So ons beplan groot dinge vir die seisoen. Ons het nou Saterdag, volgende Saterdag het ons 7's op Bonnievale, bietjie die ouens wegvat. Bonnievale 7 span, ons het 'n paar goeie 7 spelers. Ons gebruik ook die 7's wedstryd vir deel van ons kondisionering. En dan ons eerste vriendskaplike wedstryd, dink ek is die 16de Februarie wat baie vroeg is. So ons het net 5 wedstryde voor die liga begin. So dit is goed vir die klub.
Peter Links is, of course, head coach at Hands and Hearts now. Jerome, he's going to be back in the picture, but Super League C is going to have a couple of challenges for Hands and Hearts. I don't think any of the games are easy nowadays.
No, it won't be. But with the experience, and it's also good that Peter Links is back, and I also see Daxi is with them. And
Daxi?
as you were saying, Philander, the backline coach,
Right,
Daniel Philander, he knows his story about backs. And as you mentioned, I saw a couple of old faces back then in the forwards, which is good. So they've done their homework, and hopefully they will be successful this year.
Danny, Peter Links is,
Peter Links is an old and JP. I'm glad he's back with his
and
club.
he can actually walk to the field. He can walk from his house to Eikendal.
He can walk from his house through the school to Eikendal. But I also I see Daxi's back, so it's great because Daxi has been a great player in his day. And then Anton Schwartz, he's been a good school coach.
Yeah.
He's experienced. Peter has a good, I'm looking forward to Hands and Hearts this season because there's a great coaching panel. I just hope that they get the recognition from the Hands and Hearts community to back them. That for me is important.
But they've made an incredible effort over the last few years to do fundraising events, community events. So it looks like there's a cohesive community structure there.
Look, JP, we can't deny Hands and Hearts always had a great community structure. It's a club with a great history over the last few years. With the Boyson brothers and all those things, there's lots of Springboks that came out of there. But I want to say that those coaches need the support of the club. Yeah. And if they get the support of the club, there will certainly be great improvements going forward for this club.
Speaking about the players, of course, being integral there, we managed to speak to Vivian Fredericks. He's playing centre at Hands and Hearts.
Ja, wat kan man sê? As niks beter as jou tuis nie, niks beter om in die gemeenskap rugby te speel nie. Dit verlang en ja, so lekker om weer terug by die oefening te wees. Ja, altyd lekker om weer die manne weer terug te sien. Soos ek sê, almal was laas by verskillende clubs. So almal probleem terug te ploeg na ons gemeenskap toe en vir ons weer uit die dip uit te kry. Maar om saam almal weer te speel, gee regtig hy tuisfeeling vir jou. Ja, ons ken almal van Mr. Links. 1 jaar teen my gespeel op in Nieuweland wat ons verloor het teen Hands and Hearts. Maar is lekker om saam Coach Links te werk. Hy leer vir ons nuwe dinge, is altyd lekker om nuwe goed te leer by hom en dinge vorentoe te vat. Ja, derby is altyd lekker. Wat gaat die moeilikste uit die beste uit. Ons wil elke wil die beste wees in Kraaifontein. Ja, ons gaat half en half vat, maar ons zat om game voor game, daar heb ik altijd achterna. Ja, dat is het enige wat ik kan zeggen. Ik kan maar die andere spannen waarschuwen ook. Hands and Hearts is terug met de bank die jaar 2019.
Well, welcome back, folks. Vivian Fredericks there, but I don't know Vivian as Vivian. I know Vivian as Corky. Jerome, we've both been connected to him. He played in the club rugby. I think he was in your Dodger side.
He was an emerging team in Western Province Sevens.
Good player.
Yeah, very good player, and also good to see that again. Ex-player coming back to put back into the community. I think he also lived quite close to the field.
Yeah, he's also been around. He's been around. We saw him at UWC. I think we saw him at Milnerton. So he's done his hard yards. Yeah. Danny, you reckon the match to look out for in this environment is Hands and Hearts and Scottsdene?
JP, there's a rivalry.
They're in the same league. Are they in the same league this year?
They're in the same league. That's a rivalry that's also very big.
Yeah.
So it's really a game that I think. Will be speaking about well-attended games. That's a major game.
I'm not sure. Is Alistair Sigelaar coaching there again this year at Scottsdene? Do we know? Yes, Alistair Sigelaar back.
He's back. So and I know Yanni is now the coach. I mean, Yanni is now the chairman or president. Yanni Andries. There's been changes there too, but I do think that game is a must. We must highlight that game as one of our games to broadcast.
Yep, so we'll be taking a look at that. Hopefully we'll get that in the mix as early as possible. MChem 24-hour pharmacy is of course on board with Cape Rugby TV. You can find them on the corner of Durban Road and the N1. If you're driving out of town, it's on the right-hand side of the road. If you're driving into town, on the left-hand side of the road. Got everything you need. Free parking, best prices, there's sports nutrition supplements, there's orthopedic products, pharmaceutical products, and a fantastic coffee shop upstairs. Sell great breakfasts, and of course MChem are of course now a supporter to the High Performance Centre in Belleville. You see the logos behind me. Just look out for this logo, MChem Pharmacy, on the corner of Durban Road and the N1. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Stay tuned. We've still got the Stormers coming up in our Western Province Rugby professional feature. Nice to be able to catch up with the Stormers there. Danny, this has been a nice new component to Cape Rugby. The last 15 minutes of the show being about our professional players. Stormers TV, so to speak.
Definitely, JP, and I want to commend you for the initiative. I think it's important because, you know, the club rugby is fundamental to all of us. But we all support the Stormers, and they're part of Western Province. We own them, lock, stock, and barrel. So it's important that we also we showcase 360 of Western Province. So I'm glad we got it.
It's kind of been a component that we've been missing.
Yeah.
You know, you only really there are hundreds of thousands of people that are watching the show, and they only would have to maybe wait until Super Rugby starts or whatever you read in the newspaper. Now you can actually make a connection. You can see who the boys are that play for you, for the link, the Western Province link. You've got, and I think this brings a human element almost to the guys.
And also, JP, no disregard and disrespect. We know the Stormers is on SuperSport.
Yeah.
And SuperSport is not necessary in all our homes.
Yeah.
Yet Cape Rugby TV is in all our homes on the platform that we use. So it's good to bring SIA into every home.
Yes.
That follows rugby, and that's the thinking behind here, is to put the Stormers into the homes of club rugby people.
Well, it's a fantastic new edition. That's coming up a little bit later in the show, so make sure that you stay tuned. Let's find out now, in the meantime, what is happening at Rugby. We went out there to find out what's happening at Rugby. They're, of course, playing in Super League C at the moment. They ended number 2 in the Northern League and then at number 2 in the top 9 behind Blue Stars United last year. So very exciting. We'll also be speaking to their head coach, Ridwan Skippers, and playing wing at Rugby now, Oswald Smith.
Ja, gewoonlijk is het goed om te zien om zo vroegtijdig met een klomp mannen soos die te begin. Van die mannen is ook nog tans bezig met andere activiteiten. So ja, soos ons dieper ingaan in einde Januarie se kans sal die mense die numbers nog groter raak. Ja, fantastische dorpie so Rugby. Ja, dit is 'n gemeenskapsdorpie. Almal is lief vir mekaar. As ons 'n sportaktiwiteit hier op die veld het, is almal altyd hier so. Ja, is fantasties om so 'n gemeenskap te hê van Rugby. Ja, luckily vir ons was al voorheen in die Super C, so Ons het 'n bietjie ondervinding daar. Ons het ook verlede jaar met 'n klomp youngsters gewerk. Youngsters wat uit die Super C het gekom het, waar in die zones gewees het en hulle dieselfde jong spelers met die ondervinding, die ervare spelers ook self, het ons baie gehelp om weer terug te kom in Super C waar die verlede jaar was. Ja, die eerste vriendskaplike wedstryd begin reeds 2 Maart hier so op Rugby teen St. George's en dan gaan ons ook die next ene Garabou ook hier so op Rugby en dan is dit net die een friendly wat ons wegspeel Paternoster.
Kyk, hier is altyd 'n verrigting en is altyd blydskap om te sien dat die manne weer terug vir jou toe kom. Ja, nee, kyk, ons het 'n liefde vir rugby. Kyk, ons is van Makassar, ons is van Grofstrand, ons is van eintlik van all over om eintlik na die rugby toe te kom. So, nee, ons het 'n liefde vir die klub. Kyk wat gebeur. Daai was eintlik kompetisie, want sy kom nie sommer uit nie. Veral daai laaste gedeelte, daai top 9. Toe moet sy speel. Toe gaan dit oor waar rugby oor gaan. Dan kyk almal wil uit. Maar kyk, ons is bly om weer terug te wees by die kompetisie. So ons is nou eintlik weer deel van die Helderberg kom. Kyk wat gebeur, daai is eintlik die goal. Ons moet nie net bly in een divisie of in een liedjie, want sy kan nie jaar na jaar dan dieselfde rugby speel nie. So ons moet as 'n klub moet ons groei sien aan die einde van die dag. So mense moet dan kan sien, okay, Rugby het fortuur, Rugby het reg gemaak, Rugby het foute, Rugby is nie die perfekte klapie, maar Rugby kan kom waar hy wil.
Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Remember, use the hashtag #WP Club Rugby with all of your activities. Great to see Rugby getting ready for their pre-season there. I'm sure it's going to be a very exciting season. As we mentioned earlier on, we were out with the DHL Stormers watching their pre-season. Looks like there's a great vibe amongst the boys. And we also managed to speak to Chad Solomons at Western Province Rugby, as well as Damian Willemse, Springbok Fly-Off, Stormers Fly-Off, and Western Province Rugby Fly-Off. Back in a sec.
Yeah, it's great to be back with the lads. Had a great week camp in Hermanus, and boys are getting fitter, and we're looking forward to the rest of the season coming up in the season. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult, you know. It doesn't matter where you travel to, and traveling is not easy. So we just have to make sure that we get off to the right start, you know, coming the 17th of Feb against the Bulls, you know, because that sort of sets the tone for the rest of the season. But we have to travel good this year, you know. I mean, in the past we haven't been traveling as well as we wanted to, and yeah, definitely New Zealand is a tough place to travel, so hopefully we can flip some cards down under. Yeah, as I said, you know, that's as just being a rugby player is just not good enough, you know, because after 5 or 10 years people are gonna forget you, but people will never forget the impact you had on their life. So that's what we're trying to focus on, you know, and it's just great to be blessed. We're blessed, you know, to be able to be in this position, you know, play rugby, doing what we love, and giving back is one of the easiest stuff we can do, or sacrifice a little bit of your time to go make a difference. So yeah, as I said, giving more and just taking less this season.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough pre-season. So we started in November, finished up in on the 15th of December. Had a short break and then we're back at it on the 7th of Jan. And then we hit the ground running in the new year, non-stop. Yeah, so management made it a big part of our pre-season is getting out there firstly, getting the communities. So the aim of our besides being on the field, we went around the community, for example, to Out Bay, to a community centre for kids where underprivileged kids go there, have something to go after school, to do their homework, to take up an instrument, to learn an instrument, to dance, just have fun in general. So we went there, had a bit of activation with them. We actually did a small dance class and also played some instruments. Yeah, no. So firstly, I'm not the best dancer in the world, but some of the guys, Sebelo Sinatla, Dylan Leeds, more the backline players who have more of the rhythm than some of the forwards. Yeah, no, definitely we have a lot of depth this year. So like the management said, this is one of the best squads as a whole that we have to put forward for the Super Rugby season this year. A lot of young guys like Saman Murat, Arnold Christus have a good Currie Cup and hopefully take it forward into the Super Rugby. I myself also want to make it into the Super Rugby now, so I'm fighting hard for a spot to get my opportunity.
Welcome back, folks. Right, we're running a little bit tight on time. Jerome, on your side then, the Stormers guys are looking really sharp at the moment. You mentioned it, Danny mentioned it, Peter Steftetua is looking like he's put on another 10 kilos. Eben is running there with his suntan, and you just see muscles everywhere. The guys are really looking strong.
Yeah, no, they're looking good, JP, and we also, with the Super Sport Challenge, which we call Club to Super Sport Challenge, are playing them in one chaka at Falls Bay on Saturday.
Yeah.
So the club guys, I mean, they're looking forward to this challenge, to play against these guys, and it's also a good opportunity for them to play against them. And we're going to do more games like this with club guys. So we're busy with that. So.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the clubs out there, the guys who haven't sent their guys, they can really send their guys. We're busy with 30 guys, and yeah.
Right, folks, Dulux Maitland, you see them behind me here. Dulux Maitland, number 30 Kuba, and of course on board with Cape Rugby TV, supplying Cape Rugby TV paint supplies. And if you need to get your paint specs or your construction premises, your house specced, and the right paint, then Dulux Maitland is the store for you. Number 30 Kuba Road is just over Voortrekker Road. It's easy to find, and of course you know what it looks like because you've seen on the Cape Rugby TV behind us exactly what the premises look like. So get down to Dulux Maitland at number 30 Kuba Road. They'll spec your premises and give you exactly the right kind of quantity of paint, perfect color matching, and save you a lot of money. Danny, the players at Western Province at the Stormers, they look like they're doing a few extramural activities now to build into their development. Dancing now. So we was talking about dancing. Is it langarm? Is it sokkie? Is it reel? What's it dancing is Dino?
Ek het geen idee nie, JP, maar dit is goed want alles dra by om 'n beter persoon en 'n beter speler te maak. So ja, dis great.
Meneer, is it can be dancing? You have to leave me out of that one. But yes, like it, yeah. No, I think it's fantastic to see this, call it cross-pollination of development. Jerome, thanks very much. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Yeah, JP, so as we said like earlier on, lots of rugby, and there's lots of rugby this weekend for people again to go and watch.
Yeah, Danny, thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to the fixtures.
Thank you, JP. It's always good to be here, and thank you for the good work that you do for Club Rugby. It's really appreciated.
Oh, well, we're all passionate here. This is a family environment, so it really is looking like we're all very excited to get going. Right, folks, that's a wrap from us here, Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find the repeat on Saturday mornings from 9 to 10. Don't forget to publish your events with us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And there's your Dulux Maitland store, just over Coburg Road. Look for the store behind you, 30 Coburg Road. That's a wrap. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.